Please take your seats. Take your seats. Good evening.
Just share with us the importance of this trip, going out in Uganda for this climate change summit.
It's a very important summit. As you know that the global community has come to the conclusion that climate change is a real issue. Degradation of the climate, our climate in the world is a real issue. As you know, there were debates a few years ago, but now the impact, the negative impact of climate change is felt everywhere. Droughts, floods, so many negatives. And if humanity does not attend to controlling measures that are required to control climate change, we will be killing ourselves, we'll be damaging ourselves. So we're going to this conference where decisions will be made, commitments have been made before, but more decisions, more commitments, especially targets to reduce the increase in the temperatures. All of us must oblige ourselves as countries to those obligations, to those targets, in order to contain the increase in the temperature globally. Because if we don't, we are causing disaster. This COP26 is very important. Very important.
Mr. President, we understand that during your visit you also be able to talk to other stakeholders out there. Maybe you can shed more light of what we expect during those talks and which stakeholders that you'll be able to talk to and what them is expected to get out of that.
Yeah. Obviously, once we are there, the core business is what we've agreed, discussed with you already, but we leverage. As we travel these long distances, they're not actually nice. A person like myself, who's traveled all over the world during my professional days, it's not nice to travel. So when we travel, we must optimize on the trip. What do I mean? As we will be in Glasgow and then London, we are going to have meetings with various stakeholders, primarily to generate value for our people back home. All the time, our interest is to deliver value for the 18 million Zambians. We'll have meetings, for example, with certain lenders, having delivered a budget, I think a wonderful budget. We now are turning to a few things, obviously, implementation measures to support the budget, but away from the budget, we're turning to measures off budget. There are a lot of measures off budget that we need to deal with. Debts, dismantling. We promised the people of Zambia that we are committed to dismantling the debt, to restructuring the debt, to create headroom for us, to release resources and direct those resources to the people, the citizens who own those resources, such as what we've done with the Constituent Development Fund. But we want to increase the elasticity, to increase the freeing of resources off the budget to bring more value to our people. You will see that. What you've seen in the budget is just the beginning. We've just started. We've just started. Just watch how we move. Just watch how we move. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. President, again we are seeing you using a commercial flight. People want to know how we're going to get used to this, again with a lean into it, so to say.
We made pronouncements before we formed government. And what we have said to the people of Zambia, get a piece of paper, get a pen, start marking the script. See what we said when we were in opposition, compare that to what we're doing now that we're in office. We're not excited to spend taxpayers' money lavishly. There's no need to. We know where to get money to spend for our needs. We know. It's in business. Now, public money must be spent sparingly, prudently. Each dollar available to us, as you know, resources are scarce. That's the basic rule of economics and finance. But every kwacha we have, we must stretch it, which means we must gain more from it than ordinarily would have been if you had a leadership or a government which lacks principles of prudence, responsibility, and self-control. So that is what we're doing. The question you're asking me, it's just one of those many things we committed we will do. And you wait and see. There's a report that's coming soon around the issues you're asking me. And you fall off your chair. Even when you're standing, you fall off this carpet. When you see how extravagant those before us in government were spending your money, you can't believe it. You won't believe it. We will never walk that route ourselves. Never. We never sought public office for our own personal gain. We sought public office to benefit the people. We know what to do to benefit ourselves. We've done it. Now we're working for the people.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and safe trip.
Are you happy with the budget? Are you happy with the budget?
It looks promising. We don't know how it will be when it comes to implementation.
I expected you to answer my question. Are you happy with the budget or not? Because you're a citizen. We work for you. Are you happy? Be honest with yourself.
The budget looks so good, Mr. President. All we want to see is the implementation of it.
Yeah, all right. You heard me earlier. I said, from now on, as the budget will be debated in the House, in Parliament, we are working towards putting the ropes, putting the anchors to ensure effective implementation of the budget. I think I said that. What else are we doing? We are also ensuring that not just effective implementation, but we put in place monitoring and control mechanisms that will be able to check whether the money is being spent for the intended objectives. And for the first time in the history of this country, we're walking the talk. This first UPND budget, we're walking the talk. You Zambians just delayed yourselves, right? We're walking the talk. For the first time in the history of our country, there will be constituency budgets. Each constituency, now that they've been allocated this money, they have to tell us how they're going to utilize it between now and December, end of December. But we'll give them guidelines, we'll provide them guidelines so that they make the right decisions. And then on the side of the constituent budgeting and planning team, which will involve not just elected officials, councillors, MPs, chairmen or mayors, we will add on to the community leaders who are not in the process or have not been in the process before. Who are they? Yes, the traditional leaders, you can say them, but they're representative. But we want to go down to the world. We want even headmen to select representatives. Who else? Church leaders. We want church leaders to be part of the budgeting and planning committee of the utilization of the CDA funds. That's one group. The other group, a monitoring and control group. Right in the constituency, the jobs will be created there. Capacity will be created there. More important, what will drive the jobs and capacity is the money circulating in the constituency. I'm sure you've heard what the Minister of Finance has said. He's delivering our message that procurement of goods and services to be funded by this Constituent Development Fund, by and large, will be derived, will be sourced from the constituencies. The constituency doesn't have the capacity, the district next door or within the environment, if you like, the Senate, province, we end there. No one will be given a contract to do a job in Mufrila who come from Lusaka. No one. Chingola, I see MP for Chingola, where is it? He's there. No one will be given the contract to do such works in Chingola who comes from Lusaka. Contracts will be given to people of Chingola. The money will circulate there. Let alone a foreigner. Over the years, we've been seeing foreigners constructing a small toilet in a constituency. How can that be? That's a joke. All those things will be things of the past. What else are we doing? We're creating capacity now for skills. Money has been allocated to the Ministry of Technology and Science so that we can revive the trade schools. Carpentry skills, plumbing skills, electrical skills, all of those, such that in this first year, if there's impairment in terms of capacity, we're building this capacity. And we used to say so in the campaigns. Since you're a journalist, go back to our campaigns 2, 3, 4 years ago, you hear the same language. Now, the people of Zambia go through the people of Zambia. We're in this position. We are going to do things. Just watch. Watch and be active. Be a participant. We like to be criticized. Go ahead and criticize us. But you will have less to criticize about over time. We are confident because we know what is happening. We know what needs to be done. We just invite all Zambians. Let's work together. That's why we're talking about unity in our country. Reuniting our country so we can work together in the development agenda. Something different, isn't it? Is this not refreshing? It is, of course. You are shy to answer. But it is. Thank you. Anything else, sir?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Right. There you have it. It was just back to the studio.